All right.
All right, I'm here with.
My name's Nathaniel Jemiasville.
I'm Brandon Moore.
All right. You want to go first? You want to go first?
Yeah. All right. So I was a co-captain. I was the emotional support of the team. Encouraging our teammates. Uh, being
The 14.
in Milwaukee Academy of
There we
Science.
go. There we go. There we go.
Being that factor of cheering everybody up during the games, practice, motivating, being able to connect our team, bring our team together. I dealt with my injury. I dealt with like a foot injury, so that when I dealt with that like my sophomore, close to my end of my sophomore year, and I wasn't really able to play my most of my junior year, and that really like took a toll on me because that was your junior year for football is like your most important year. So being not being able to play my most important year, really affected a toll on me, and kind of I got depression, anxiety from that. But luckily, I was still able to play during my senior year.
All right.
About you?
My name is Nathaniel Jemiasville. Everybody usually call me Jemias. I played for the Milwaukee Academy of Science Novus. Football. I playing football about 10 years of my life. Played all my high school ball with Milwaukee Academy of Science. Was a team captain. I led the team in multiple stats. I led the state in some stats. Got a couple accolades, achievements like that under my belt. I hurt myself my senior year of football. My senior year during the second game of the season. Kind of was running, got off the line, kind of wrong, made the wrong step, tore ACL, MCL, my meniscus. A lot of stuff's out of my control, but going through it, it was kind of pretty depressing, pretty sad situation. Really, a lot of people believed in me, so it kind of hurted to let the people down that believed in me and things like that. So I tried to just be as best you can. Do what you can, really psychological, mentally. You know what I'm saying? Try to stay mentally strong. But I know after my surgery and things like that, I was in a very bad headspace. I was sad. I wasn't doing too hot, but doing better now. We improving. So yeah, that's me. That's us.
Yeah. All right. So, question for today is, what are the most common mental health challenges that student athletes face after being injured? And then how do you think schools and coaches better support the emotional recovery?
So I think the most common mental health challenges post injury is really, I think one main one is really depression, bro. Like I didn't realize. Well, so I played football for at least like 10 years of my life. And I watched a lot of people get injured, and I really never got hurt. So when I finally got hurt, it was a little different. Like actually sitting out and watching my peers play, and just me not being able to participate, made me like real sad. And like when I started to do research on the topic further, I realized more people was like really feeling that way. That's a common feeling to have after like the injury. Like you kind of just gotta recover. You gotta sit there and just if you gotta have surgery, you gotta have your surgery, be on crutches, walk around. Like, you can't really do much. It is kind of put you in a bad state of mind, I would say, because you just kind of stagnant. You're not going nowhere. You're not. Excuse me. But you're not moving forward. You're not progressing in no way. So I feel like that's probably one of the biggest mental health challenges. Probably depression for sure, because the more and more, it's not many studies, but most of the studies that are done on this topic, a lot of people are saying mental health challenges is really a big thing in this world. And it's a two-part question. You open it
Yeah.
up. All right.
And then the other question: how can schools and how can the coaches better support your
Schools and coaches.
Yeah,
I would say honestly, all the coach could really do is just be there for you, man. Like,
yeah. Check up on you.
I know when I was going through what I was going through, I really didn't want to talk to nobody. I wanted to just look it out. But that's really not a healthy way to do it. I would say. Definitely think it's a more healthy way to go about that situation for sure than just trying to do it by yourself and handle it alone. I think you definitely could talk to a coach and at least, be around and watch and, completely not just take yourself away from the environment and situation you were in. I definitely think coaches and school staff could help you better emotionally 100% because, they adults, they know an hour of knowledge. They can help you out any way. They could give you words of motivation. They can give you encouragement. Really whatever you really need in the moment. It's really depends what you need.
Yeah.
Really, it's all about what you get at the end of the day.
And then I feel like another common is like anxiety too.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you after you get injured and you just
scared to get hurt again, bro. That's what
like,
that's really what it be like.
Like you scared to even like, okay, I go back on the field with it, and you just thinking in your head like, dang, what if I get injured again?
I haven't touched the field since I hurt myself.
Because
it really do be in the back of your head. Like, what if this happened again? Especially when it's like a non-contact injury or something you really couldn't control. It was more just like it just happened. So yeah, that definitely is true. Because a lot of injuries that happen nowadays are really just nothing you can really control.
Yeah.
It's just like, for example, for mine, I was just literally just running. I was just running and my leg popped. Like, it was just crazy. Like, I don't know. So a lot of that stuff you just can't control. It's just really can't even say form and technique is out of your control. It's in God's hands, really.
Yeah, and then anxiety. Like I said, anxiety do play a role.
Return to play. Scared to return to play.
Yeah, sure. Scared. Yeah, because you could just and do any. Mental health can affect your performance even if you go back on the field because like I know for me like when I was in my sophomore year I feel like I elevated because freshman year I really wasn't that good, so then I elevated. Sophomore year I got a lot of stats, and then I got injured, and then when I returned I'm like, okay, what if I don't do better or the same as I did sophomore year? So it was just
you got pressure to perform. For sure.
A lot of pressure, and then I know within the research, I also figured out like seeing that like it also happens to a lot of different of the players too that return. To return to play, and it's got like and affects them like mentally and on the field as well. So and then also coaches, I feel like the school coaches, reach out to the kid, make sure they like doing good, daily checkups.
Visit them for sure, like talk to them,
Because sometimes doing a little talking could, better
go
help.
a long way.
I'll tell you, like,
because a lot of times you feel like you by yourself when you're in that type of situation, bro. I know I felt alone when I was going through that. Like, I was one of the hardest person in my life, really, in a real way. Because you just feel so lonely. You in a like it's just a depressing environment. I say like you just in a house, you in your room all day, you can't move. Like I know you had a foot infection, so you couldn't walk. You couldn't. You have to ask people to go do stuff for you. You gotta like that's really like I don't know. It make you feel a certain type of way. I didn't like. I hated that.
Yeah, like. That's not a feeling that
I wouldn't wish on my enemy for real. Yeah, that's really depression.
Like an athlete going through is just not really a good feeling. So I feel like the coaches and people and the staff from your school should reach out daily.
Yeah, that support is really needed, especially for young minds.
Good. So yeah. All right. Another question is, can you walk us through what the first few days or weeks are like mentally for student athlete for yourself after your injury?
Well, for me personally, right away, like directly after the injury, for me, I personally tore my MCL, my ACL, and my lateral meniscus. That's in your knee, so you need your knees to walk. So when I initially hurt myself the day of, like during the game, I walked pretty fine. First couple of days, the first week or two, I really didn't know. I thought it was just a small injury. I tried to keep playing. My coaches didn't let me play. I was really mad about that. Then they just made me get an MRI. And once I got the MRI, like, they told me it was more than what I thought it was. And it really was, like, crazy. So yeah, the first, like, couple of days, I really didn't know. until you get your MRI, you really don't know what's going on for sure. Like nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like doctors could tell you all this and the third, but until you see it like on the scanners, like it doesn't really what they saying doesn't matter. So right away, I didn't really feel it. It was just like okay, I was just living. Then once I got the MRI, I was like, dang, I really gotta have surgery. Like this is really something. And then surgery came up, and you gotta just kind of gotta live with it. Especially like after the surgery, you gotta kind of immobile. You can't do much. You kind of just alone. You by yourself. You got a lot of time to yourself. You got a lot of time to think because you missing school, you missing work. I mean, I'm sure your people in your household are still going and active and doing whatever they're doing with their day. So you're kind of in the house by yourself all day. You just doing whatever you really want to. Yes, I mean, it wasn't too bad, I would say, but looking back on it, it could have been better for sure. I feel like. Oh yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I know. For me, it was like with my foot, I didn't notice it at first, but you could tell like the way I was walking, I always walk with a limp. So it was just me. I was just trying to like brush it off and not really taking it as serious as I should have. So then when I like missed, I had me and my mother like scheduled what's it called, the X-ray, and it showed that like my foot was like literally out of place. So then I'm like, then the foot doctor told me, he was like, oh, you're gonna have to get surgery, and you're gonna have to miss a few weeks of school and whatnot. That kind of affected me like mentally, because it was like I can't really.
Alright, so this time I got the question. It's do you think schools place enough emphasis on the psychological impact of sports injuries, or is the focus still mostly physical? So do you think they still too worried about the physical aspect of injuries and not the psychological aspect?
I feel like they still focus on the physical because of the simple fact that you won't be able to go to school or practice and stuff like that. And I feel like the psychological is still important as physical, because that kid can lose motivation of playing sports. Even if they able to come back, they can lose motivation in so many different ways. Like they don't lose motivation in school, being an athlete. So I feel like they still focus more on physical because of the simple fact that they not the student that's injured, not able to come to school and stuff like that. I mean, I still think mentally it's still important as physical, because you're not gonna really get too far if your mental is not at a good is not good enough, not good, So I feel like it's still more physical.
Personally, I think. Well, I think it go hand in hand. Honestly, bro, you can't be physically well and not psychologically well when it comes to this sports stuff. Like, both are equally as important. I feel like you shouldn't rush one or the other. Yeah, I feel like when I was playing, I feel like after my injury and my surgery and all that, like I was being like rushed to hurry up and try to return to sport. Like people were just not really worried about me mentally. It was more so, just come back on the field. Let's go back working out. Let's go back getting your appetite right. Like all this, like, and it really wasn't so much more my psychological well-being, which is just as important as the physical well-being, I believe. So
for sure,
I think it's still mostly physical, sadly, but I think it should change. I think it should be a change coming up soon. Like when I started doing research more on this topic, I was seeing the dates, and like more research is starting to be more recent. So it's not really much older research. It's a little bit, but it's not as much, and they don't go in really as much detail as they should. I feel like it's really not a spoken about enough topic. I feel like your psychological well-being is just as, if not more than important as your physical well-being. Because you being strong physically is perfectly fine, but it all starts in your head. Everything you do is in your head first. You control your body through your head. You do everything through your head anyway. So I feel like that's what matters the most, regardless.
Yeah.
That should be what's prioritized, if anything. I don't know how physical. I mean, I can see how because they want their coaches, they want their player back. They want, you know what I'm saying,
come back.
The star player that they got, whatever they want their player back. They, you know, teacher wants the student back. You know, all that. So you want you back in there, but that's important. But I don't feel like it's more important than you being okay physically, you being ready physically to take on any task that you need to. Because with the injury, it's really a lot to it, man. You know that life really changes. Like ever since I had my injury, I had to change my life completely. I thought I was going to go to college for football and things like that, but I ended up switching my whole thing around just because I'm scared. Like it's really a lot of damage that can be done psychologically, and it's a lot of it it's irreversible. You can't really do much about it. It's just you gotta just deal with it. It's just one of those things you gotta just take head on.
Yeah. So, like he said, you know, being like emotionally, you know, mentally available just as physical. It's just important as physical.
For sure.
Because, you know, if you not right mentally, you know, it's not gonna translate that to, even if you get your body right, you know, you get physically good physically, but it's not gonna translate into, you know, back you playing sports.
That's very true.
Yeah,
because you could be in prime physical form, you could be in the best shape of your life. If you don't think you could do it, or if you think you constantly get back, I might get injured again, I might do this again. You're gonna play hurt, you're gonna play scared, so it's not gonna translate the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, you end
up really start up here. Really, all start psychologically.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to play your best, even if you know you physically back in shape.
You could be the best shape in your life, but you still not perform the way you used to because you in your head, you stuck inside your own head, and you can't get out the mindset you were in already. You know, you can't. You seem like you can't escape it, and I know how it'd be like that. I know how that feel, but I feel like you definitely should be right psychologically before you become right physically. Well, no, I won't say that. I feel like they both just as important as the other, for sure. Because without one, you can't do the other, regardless.
Yeah,
they play hand in hand for real.
No. All right, you know what I'm saying. Another question I got is, how can athletic programs build a stronger culture around mental health, especially when dealing with injuries?
Honestly, I would say just have the injured player more involved. You know, when you an injured player and you watching your teammates work out or do team dinners or doing team practices or games, anything like that, you just kind of feel left out. You just kind of the odd one out. You just watching. You can't really participate. For like incorporating them more inside the activity or whatever you guys are doing, I feel like that would definitely go a long way. Like I know when I got myself hurt, I really wouldn't I wouldn't say I wasn't invited to center, but I wasn't encouraged to come. Like, come to this, come to that, come to the practice, come be here. Like it wasn't really like that anymore. It was just more, are you okay? And when you gonna be back or this whatever. Mm-hmm. I feel like they definitely could do. It'll be a way stronger culture if we incorporate everybody. It shouldn't be you're not available to play right now, so we can't really take you're not really in the equation as much. I feel like you should be. Everybody should be equal. Everybody. If anything, I feel like you should be the center of it all. If you hurt, you should be the heart of the team. You can't really do much. You kind of just there for emotional support. Now you're not really physically there anymore. You just you can't really work out with the team. You can't. You just kind of there in a way.
Yeah. So like he said, encouraging the injured player to come to dinner, the team meetings, all that, because that helps them, like, okay, they still want me involved around the team. So
not just what you have to offer. It's what you. Yeah. It's that
actually being a part of family. So I feel like encourage asking, hey, let's go to team, let's keep coming to team dinner, team meetings, and still feel like you involved even if you not playing. It's just actually being there, being there for emotional support, actually seeing like, okay, if a teammate don't know certain play or he don't know what he doing, you can still be like, okay, still help teammates out. I feel like also, coaches be more understanding of, okay, you know, my player is injured, so I want to still be able to motivate him, you know, still want him to come to practices and stuff like that, because you know, if they feel left out, they gon' you know, it's gonna be more of that mental health taking a toll on him, because he gonna start, that player gonna start to feel like, oh, you just only just here for just my, you know, my talent, you know what I'm saying? So being actually having that player come to, you know, the team practices and stuff like that, he actually start to feel, you know, more better, you know, more motivated to even come back to play, you know. And that's a important thing as well. Not just leaving that player out all because he's injured and just asking him, oh, when you go, when you available, when you can be able to come back. So being, you know, encouraging him and being able to, you know, encourage, motivate, that goes a long way. It plays a very big part into that athlete.
And team culture is really a very important thing, especially for a football team, I would really say. Well, any sport team, period, I feel like you need to create a brotherhood. You need to create like a sense of family. Like, you guys need to really be connected. Like, you know, emotionally, you know what I'm saying? Not physically, but you know what I'm saying? Like, emotionally, you gotta click. Y'all gotta be like a family. Y'all gotta move together. Y'all gotta do things a certain type of way. I feel like incorporating the injured athlete would definitely significantly help the a team culture, regardless, because, you know, makes everybody a part of it. You know, you're not leaving nobody out. Everybody do what they supposed to get. Everybody get a piece of the pie. You know, everybody get. So nobody upset. So that's definitely the best way to go about that. Is, you know, just keep them involved. You can't just forget about them once, you know, they're not available to you anymore. That's not fair to them as a player, or nor to the team, because, you know, the players can only do so much. Coaches really run it all. You know, you gotta make sure your player feel good about itself regardless, no matter what the facts are. You gotta make sure, you know, everything's going how it's supposed to go. Everything's good.
Yeah.